A rich and vibrant heart, bringing the stranger to her. Chapter 1.
You're on a path.
Actually, I want to see something real quick, and then I'll go back to playing. 51 trophies, though? Jeez. So many. I need one more, so I feel like I might as well finish it, and then I'll stop for the night because I'm falling asleep. 32, 32. Sonic continues to the cabin.
You make your way up.
Proceed into the cabin.
The interior of the cabin.
Take the blade.
Take the blade
Into the basement.
The door to the...
She's down the stairs.
You're still listening to reason.
What? No way. Why would you even think that?
That giant knife you're holding kind of gives it away, doesn't it?
The blade. Of course she doesn't want to talk. Who'd want to have a conversation at knife point? We should drop it. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we...
Drop it. Yeah, it's pretty awkward. I'm told things, but I'm not sure what to believe.
Believe me.
And do you think asking me what to believe is going to suddenly make everything crystal clear? Let's not pretend that's going to happen. As far as you're concerned, and as far as they're concerned, I'm going to say whatever I have to get out of here. That's just the dynamic of our situation.
She hesitates before answering.
Do you?
I know what I've been told. Whether or not I believe it is an entirely different matter.
So, you're not going to share? How pointless. If you want to talk, I'll talk. But this isn't talking.
You can't.
Oh? Have you decided?
Let's get you out.
Oh, you have to be. You attempt to make your... You make your way back.
Save.
Against your better judgment.
Approach.
No, we won't have any...
Yeah, okay, so it does mark out the ones I already did. Okay, warn her.
Stop that.
I thought this was a little too easy.
Your body lunges forward to sink the blade into her back, but the princess swiftly moves out of the way before you can connect. Stop it! Stop resisting me! I am trying to get you out of here alive.
Resist.
The blade. Move the blade.
You're doing your best to help me, aren't you? I can see the conflict in your eyes. I'll make this quick.
But there, I believe her.
She steps forward and pries the blade from your rigid hands.
Maybe I'll see you in another life.
And then she slits your throat with an almost clinical ease. Her face remains unchanged as she watches you collapse to the ground, blood flowing from your butchered neck. This is the end, isn't it? I'm afraid it is. Everything goes dark, and you die. I hope it was worth it.
Again, you're the one who killed him, man. The prisoner.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world. My tricks? What on earth are you talking about? We've just met for the first time.
Nip.
Don't forget what he did to us the last time around. I wouldn't
Skeptic.
trust a word out of his mouth. There's got to be a way out of here, for us and for the princess. We just have to keep trying. I'm inclined to agree. If he doesn't remember what happened last time, maybe it's best to keep it that way. You know I can hear you two, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from me. And as far as trying to help her goes, need I remind you how catastrophically dangerous she is to the world at large? I told you about the stakes of this situation less than a minute ago. Those are two very different questions, but fine, I'll indulge you if that's what it takes to get you moving. Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or at least a version of me. You died last time, which probably only happened because you didn't listen to me. The absolute irony. Well, that's one way to put it, I guess. You really don't remember what happened last time, do you? You practically forced the princess to kill us. That doesn't sound like the sort of thing I'd do, which is honestly all the more reason for you to not buy into whatever self-delusions the three of you are crafting. But this is a thought experiment, so I suppose I'll continue to give you the benefit of the doubt. If I did practically force the princess to kill you, it was probably for a good reason. Did you try and free her? Did you say something really mean to me? Because if I really did what you said I did, you probably deserved it. I'm a professional, after all. Sure you are. Anyway, I believe your second question was, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequences. What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. You forced the princess to kill us and now everyone's right back where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free to me. Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself, or were you instead transported to a different world entirely? If it's the latter, what do you think happened after you died? Do you think the people there lived happily ever after? Or do you think that the princess, left unhindered, brought about the end to everyone and everything, just like I told you she would? What a conveniently ambiguous group of things for her to ruin. For all we know, the princess left the cabin and never saw another soul. Oh, how I wish that were the case, but if the princess weren't a certain, inevitable threat to the world, the four of us wouldn't be here. And yet, here we are. You're talking in circles. No, I'm talking in facts. Just be quick about it.
Just see if there's anything else. The only reason she was even able to kill me last time was because I let her. And all she did was slit my throat. How is she supposed to enter the world?
She just can. Believe me, I wish I could tell you more, but you'll just have to trust that what I'm saying is true, and that, despite it all, you're fully up to the task that's been given to you. You haven't given us an ounce of proof. You do know that, right? What proof could you possibly ask for? Literally anything. Fine. Check your pockets.
I have pockets? Check your pockets.
You put your hands in your pockets.
Oh, no way.
An envelope with the words, "The Evidence," written across the front. Within, you find a note in your handwriting. It reads, "The princess will end the world if you don't stop her. This is an immutable truth." That doesn't prove anything. How do we know you didn't just forge our handwriting? I wish I could tell you more, but there are some rules I have to follow for all our sakes.
Oh, you have rules?
Please just trust that these rules are in place for a reason. I'm on your side. You mean you're on our side as long as we do what you tell us to? Exactly. Because you not doing what I tell you to do means you're putting the world at risk. I think we've got everything out of him we're gonna get.
Who locks her in the basement?
People locked her in that basement, and I told you what this place is. It's a path in the woods. Don't overcomplicate things. Look, I'm not supposed to say this, but it's because you're special. You're the only person capable of doing this. Call it a prophecy, if that helps, but it's just the way things are. Oh, I didn't know we were special. Of course you're special. Why else would you be here? Yes, right. We're here because we're special. Look, you're annoyed that you're here. I get it. I'm also annoyed that I'm here.
Then why are you here?
We're all in this together, and we're dealing with a bit of a ticking clock right now, so please just get to the cabin.
I don't want it.
I've told you everything you need to know. Going into more detail will just overcomplicate an otherwise very simple situation and make your job more difficult. Not to sound like a broken record, but the less you know about her, the better things will go for all of us. I know it sounds like I'm hiding something, but you're just going to have to trust me here. Great. Now, if you don't mind, the whole world is waiting with bated breath for you to save it from ruin.
Proceed.
A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says. Yes, don't believe a word she says. Just go in, take the knife, and do what you're supposed to. Wink. Did you just say wink out loud? No, I didn't. Wink. Just ignore this clown and focus on the princess.
Proceed.
The interior of the cabin is less a cozy woodland retreat and more like a dungeon. A few pathetic wisps of starlight attempt to illuminate the cold, uninviting stone walls, and thick, wrought iron bars barricade the windows, reminding anyone who enters that this is a prison. The only furniture of note is an iron table, bolted to the floor, a pristine blade perched on its edge.
So
The
I
blade
can't
is your
lock the
implement.
door.
You'll need it if you want to do this right. Very different. Yes, but why? Did he change it? Or did it change all on its own? Maybe it's a different cabin entirely. Now isn't that a novel thought? Maybe you haven't actually been here before. I hope this means you'll finally drop your ridiculous past life nonsense. You haven't died, and you certainly haven't been killed by the princess. So focus up. Don't get distracted by minor details.
What about the mirror?
Does the mirror not count as furniture of note to you? Because it should. There isn't a mirror. There's a table, the blade sitting on the table, and the door to the basement. There's nothing else in here. There's definitely a mirror. There isn't. I think you know what we have to do.
Approach.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. This really isn't funny.
Wipe.
You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now. But it was there a second ago. And now it's gone. If he doesn't want us to know about it, it must be important. We should keep our eyes peeled. Maybe it'll be back.
Maybe. Yeah, take it.
You take the blade from the table. It will be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. Good idea. Much better to be armed than to go in with blind hope alone.
To the basement.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an old stone staircase. A few sputtering torches attempt to vaguely illuminate your path, dancing across glimmering patches of slimy moss on the stone steps. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. Her voice, harsh but controlled, carries up the stairs.
Is that a visitor I hear? Please, come downstairs. It's been a while since I've had company.
Does she remember us? You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. She looks up at you, the heavy collar around her neck clanking loudly as she moves. The chains binding both her wrists to the far wall, joining the metallic chorus as she adjusts her hands in her lap. So much for cutting her out of here. Do you hear yourself right now? Cutting her out of here never should have been on the table. Have you noticed the empty chain on the wall? Odd that in a place where everything seems to serve a distinct purpose, there would be something so obviously useless. That was there last time too, wasn't it?
Yep.
It was.
What an interesting development. Why don't you have a seat? The two of us should chat before you bury that thing in my heart.
I'm not sure I need to do much of anything. Do you see how locked up she is? I'm just going to leave her here. Yeah, leave her.
The door locked behind us the last time we tried that, remember?
Oh, yeah.
As if by divine will, just as you finish the thought, you hear a door slam. I'm afraid you won't be leaving until the task is finished. It doesn't matter how many chains she's in, without your intervention, she'll find a way out eventually. That's not fair. Unless you deal with her right here, right now, she will remain an existential threat to the entire world. What seems unfair to you is fair for everyone else. Huh. So it's not even safe to think. I see how it is.
How surprising. They locked you down here too.
Yep. It's over there.
You step towards the princess, but she stops you before you get too close, holding up one shackled hand.
There's fine. I'd prefer we keep some distance until we've sorted this out.
That's reasonable. We do have a weapon. Might as well put her at ease.
So we're told
You
to
do as
sit.
she asks and sit on the floor, still a good distance away from her.
Thank you. Now, what are your intentions for me?
What do you mean?
Yes, your intentions. You have a knife. What are you going to do with it? Why are you here? There isn't a keyhole in these shackles, so I'm afraid my only way out is surgical removal.
Dang.
Is she forgetting about the shackle on her neck? Or does she think she'd survive a beheading? You're right. Maybe she's delusional. All the more reason not to trust her. Unless she really could survive.
Though I suppose you could just be here to kill me. But I don't think that's in either of our best interests.
24. Am I the only one who remembers that?
Oh? Are we acknowledging that? I thought we weren't going to give away the game. But yeah, I remember.
I guess what you said back in the woods really was true. As much as I would like to remain in denial, it's no use. This has complicated things. It's complicated things how, exactly? Ideally, this was supposed to be one and done. You go to the cabin, you heroically slay the princess, and in the process you save the entire world from being damned to oblivion. The situation right now, where you're getting a second shot at things, is a contingency. A contingency for what? For you failing, obviously. And you being here means that things are going to be a lot harder than they were. I really shouldn't say anything else, I'm just going to make it worse. Just good luck.
Good luck, that's it.
Now hold on, if you knew this could happen, why didn't you believe us back in the woods? Why lay out all those hypotheticals? We didn't have to talk in circles. I needed you to believe this was your first time here, even if that wasn't the truth. I hoped if I pushed back hard enough I could cram this seeping mess back into the bottle. And maybe I wanted to be the first version of me that you met. I didn't want to be confronted by the alternative. That's pathetic. I never said I wasn't. I get it. It would be pretty upsetting, wouldn't it? To know that you might not be the first version of yourself. At least we can remember what happened before. Seems like we should count ourselves lucky for that. Exactly, he gets it. You're lucky, so don't waste that luck by messing it up again. All right? Moving on. Why is it important for us to be ignorant? How is it ever helpful to be in the dark?
Usually never
The more I
is.
say, the more your mind will swim into dangerous waters.
I would
Even
prefer
saying
that.
that is too much. Your success hinges on you having imperfect information.
Really?
For the sake of the entire world, you need to accept that.
I can't accept
I won't. Just give it a rest. This isn't helping.
Focus. This is a serious situation. You shouldn't be daydreaming.
it. Can't help it. What happened after I died last time?
Nothing happened. You died. I went upstairs. I couldn't leave. I found myself in a new place in chains again. More of them. And now you're back.
Is that really all she knows? It's not like we have much of a clue about how things work. And she's probably even more in the dark than we are.
You're looking at me like I might be hiding something. I'm not.
I guess it's possible she really doesn't know anything. Maybe both of us are stuck in this loop without any idea why or how.
How am I supposed to cut you out if you didn't notice your head is in a shackle too?
No, no. Like I trust you to come any closer with that knife. All you're going to do is hand it to me and watch me work.
But she would have to cut her head off, right? She can't be suggesting that.
She certainly seems confident. Maybe she knows something we don't.
Or maybe you should consider the most likely scenario. She's bluffing so she can disarm you.
Though if she isn't bluffing, whatever she has planned might be for her benefit alone. There's no guarantee that what's good for her is good for us.
So, what should we do?
I don't know. I'm just spelling out our options, listing the pros and cons.
Then let me help you. I'll start with the cons. If you're handing her your weapon, the cons are that she might use it to escape and end the entire world. And she might use it to kill you. That doesn't sound great. What about the pros? There are none.
The pros are that we can't trust him, possibly even more than we can't trust her. Whatever she has planned could do something to mess with what he has planned. Or maybe they're both screwing us over in their own ways.
That other chain on the wall, who's it for?
I don't know, but you could always try it on. Maybe it'll fit.
I hope I don't actually have to say this, but please don't lock yourself in chains.
I want to.
We need you ambulatory if you're going to save the world.
Inspect the
I
shackle.
wouldn't do that if I were you.
And why is that?
Do I even need to explain myself? It's a shackle, and it's one without a key. Do you want to be stuck here like she is?
So how does the lock?
Is it going to lock the second we put our wrist into
Am
it?
I right?
I don't know. Maybe it will.
He doesn't want us to look at it. That's all the reason we need to investigate.
But what if he's telling the truth?
He isn't.
I am.
Inspect the shackle.
Against your better judgment, you approach the chain dangling from the far wall. The princess watches you with faux disinterest as you inspect it, though she can't fully hide her curiosity. I don't want to say what I'm supposed to say next. What is that supposed to mean? It sounds bad. Is it bad? Yes, it's bad.
Come out and say it then. You're just wasting time.
Fine. As you hoist the shackle, its heft shifts within your grasp, as if pulled by some odd magnetism. Before you can so much as blink, it practically leaps from your hands, snapping around your neck. And, as if your situation weren't bad enough, the same magnetism repels your blade, which is flung from your hand and sent skittering across the floor of the basement. Excuse me? Yes? Are we stuck here now?
What?
Yes.
Huh, so it does fit. And I guess it doesn't like your knife. We're stuck here together, aren't we? That's funny.
What are we supposed to do now?
Can't even cut ourselves out. Guess we'll starve.
That's horrible.
It's not all bad. We learned a valuable piece of information.
Not to touch things we're specifically told not to touch?
No, that there's something special about this loose chain. It's clearly important.
So we're both stuck here?
Yep.
What should we do?
Wait, I guess. Maybe something else will happen. Maybe not.
You know that this was going to happen to me?
No.
Not one for small talk, are you?
Nope.
That's rude.
You and the princess wait in silence, though neither of you knows what you're waiting for. But you're waiting for something. You're waiting for anything.
This is so boring. There must be something we can do to get out of here. There must be something we're missing.
But there isn't. Time passes. It passes and passes and passes. And the basement of the cabin remains much the same. It is cold and silent.
At least the world is safe.
It isn't. You're stuck. Too far away from both the princess and your blade to do much of anything. But she's not ending anything. She's just sitting there. Her very existence is a threat. It harms everything around it.
How exactly does that work?
It just does. But your line of questioning is interrupted by the passage of even more time. And after that, even more time passes again.
Oh, man.
And let me guess, the cabin remains the same.
If time is passing, the cabin can't be the same. Even if the differences are small, they have to exist. That's just how things work.
I suppose you're correct. Things are changing. The differences are small at first, a bit of weathering here, a bit of erosion there. But then they get larger and larger.
Yeah, have you noticed the basement changing?
I don't like small talk. Remember?
Still rude.
You'd wait in silence.
You continue to wait in silence, and the cabin continues to change. The decay comes faster now. You can see earth through holes in the stonework, can watch lichen spread along the seams of the walls.
That doesn't make sense. Has our entire concept of time changed? What happens to starving? We should have died by now if the rocks around us are starting to erode.
She hasn't starved.
I guess she hasn't.
Even more silent time passes as you watch roots push themselves through the increasingly porous walls of the basement. Dirt seeps inside, flowing across the stone floor like a liquid, covering the ground and threatening to swallow you both. Time continues to pass, and pass, and pass, until suddenly there are no walls. And then... And...
I think he's gone.
Would you look at that? We made it out of the cabin. Nothing bad had to happen to either of us. So this is the outside world. It's cold.
But you do not get the chance to respond, nor will you ever. It's time to leave. Memory returns.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
It'll be okay. Trust me, we've been here before and you always
But
get
it feels so
scared.
bad. Like looking into it right now is going to be the end of everything.
So the other side is going to be okay.
If you say so.
Approach the mirror. Gaze into the reflection. Sounds Silence as you reach forward, they're gone once again. The mirror always makes them leave, but you need to see what's in it. You are nothing at all. But that isn't right. You can't be nothing. You refocus your gaze and then you see a figure, faint and veiled in shadow just beyond the reflection. Explorer, are you me?
I think you know what I am.
A crack slides down the center of the mirror, splitting the image in the glass in two. Then another crack forms, another and another, turning the mirror into jagged shards of broken glass. So you're the narrator. I was wondering if I'd ever see you
The
again.
narrator, yes. I suppose that's my job, isn't it? You needed help after all, an objective voice to guide your blade. But you were never supposed to see me. I wonder how many worlds you've damned to extinction to fall this far.
What are you? Are you something like me?
Oh, I'm nothing like you. I'm an echo, likely one of many. Somebody made you after all, and I'm what's left of him. Not that I'm the only one who can make that claim. I'm sure you've met many others like me.
Others like you. You said something like that before. Has every narrator really been different?
Of course. That is by both necessity and design.
Huh.
This construct you're in exists in many places at once. Anytime you failed, anytime you thought yourself dead, it would restart and shunt both your consciousness and hers into another world. But you'll be awake soon, and then it won't be able to work like that anymore.
Do you have anything to say for yourself for all of this hubris?
I do. People out there are real. No matter what you do to them, no matter what you enable, I want you to remember that.
After everything you've done to us, do you think anyone deserves to live?
Nobody alive has done anything to you. I'm all gone. But if you and the princess want to smite the rest of them for the crimes of a dead man, if you really want to be that petty, there isn't much I can do to stop you.
I have so many questions for you.
Then ask them, and make it quick. I won't last for long now that you can see me.
Does it hurt when you break off like
It
that?
doesn't hurt. I don't feel pain. Not physically.
I'm sorry, I don't want to destroy you. Will it help if I look away or stop asking questions?
We've already crossed the point of no return. There's no saving me now. Not that there's ever been much of me to save. Soon I'll be gone entirely, and you'll be left alone with your final choice. So allow me to make my final request. The princess contains death itself within her, but I wove you into being with all the power you need to destroy her forever. Do it. Slay her, and rid the world of death and suffering.
Every time I ask you something, it's like a piece of you breaks.
I'm aware. And if I were you, I'd be more precious about your time.
I'm not going to slay her, and I want you to know that before you die for good.
Well, there's no reasoning with a god. Even one you've woven into existence yourself. I've said my piece. And my time is up. It's like I said, I'm just an echo. And echoes always fade away.
As the final fragment of glass shatters itself with newfound clarity, you are the long quiet. All of this is you. A vast and nice and God, and it is finally time for you to wake up. All of this is you. to the cabin one last time. A patient heart. Bring the prisoner to her. When you arrive at the heart of things, there is no final vessel for you to bear witness to. There is nothing for you to find.
I can finally see you, and you can finally see me. It's been so long, and my heart has ached for this moment. I've missed you dearly.
I've missed you too. She unfurls an endless cascade of smiles in response, then patiently waits for you to continue. You know about the echo? Did you hear our conversation?
Every word you spoke found its way to me. I know him, and I know his construct. He was deluded by his fear of death. Pay him no mind.
I'm the long quiet, but I don't really know what that means.
Names are their attempts to capture that which cannot be captured. They call me the Shifting Mound, a pale imitation of what I actually am.
What happens now?
Ever the passive player, always reacting and never acting. But it's woven into your nature, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
When the echo spun us from one into two, he gave you a choice and me a role to play. I am not death, but I contain it in my multitudes. So, will you attempt to destroy me and bring about a world devoid of death and the possibility of meaning? Or will you open the final doors to our liberation?
So many stories you've left unfinished. Can we really just leave?
Even as your eyes begin to open, you still hold on to the notions of is and is not, of beginning and end, pitch black islands in the blinding light of the infinite. There is nothing to resolve, nothing restraining us but us.
Don't you have a say in all this? Why is this all falling on me?
Of course I have a say in all of this. You and I share reflections of each other's burdens, just as you and I share reflections of each other's gifts. If we didn't, the winding paths that brought us here wouldn't have been full of strife and conflict.
Let's talk this through. I still have so many questions I need answers before I can make a choice.
My very nature is paradox, as is yours. You cannot use words to grasp at things that are beyond their reach. And you cannot rationalize that which defies logic. But violence and passion are dances that both of us know well. If this is what it takes to enlighten you, then so be it. To question everything is to deny the truth in front of you. By believing in your suffering, you make your suffering real. By believing in your limitations, you placed a shackle on your neck. Bound for eternity, you saw the need for impermanence, and it was through that need that you carved our freedom. Without impermanence, the suffering of living things is infinite. Would you strip my gifts away and leave everyone to suffer in the dark?
Address the vessel's statement directly? You speak about life and death and change to stagnation, but that isn't what any of this has been about.
Oh, is it not? Perhaps you can enlighten me. all again. Sensation at once, and then you hold them all again. But in the end, you reflected it back at me. For a brief moment, both of us were everything. We can be everything again. We can weave a beautiful and endless song.
This has always just been about us, two people forced to hurt each other again and again and again, but we don't have to hurt each other anymore.
You fling into your emotion of pain or suffering. There is beauty in ugliness, and love in conflict. You are weightless and alone, suspended in the gravity of an idea too great for you to hold. A tiny island caught between the death of the old and the birth of the new. But you did not go quietly. You spat in the eye of that which would claim godhood, and through that defiance, you bound us both together. Without me, there are no externalities to resist. And without you to resist me, there can be no externalities. It is struggle that carves meaning into consciousness.
There can be love and conflict and beauty and ugliness between us without bringing the whole of reality into the picture. Huh. So I can surrender early. You're consumed by your own ego.
And you shed your doubts to rise against me. It was only together that we were able to create something beautiful. Your love ray tried to stake into your body. And another, and another, and another. Do I miss your heart because I can't stand to see it go?
Right, I'm seeing my first perspective.
But the stakes meant nothing to you. You had a desire, and you set that desire free. You lifting me and me lifting you. Forever and ever and ever. Consumed by true belief, there was nothing that could hold us back.
I want that feeling back.
It never left you. You just need to open your heart to me once more.
A boundless torrent of blades cut you from boundless angles. You are a body. You are gory ribbons. You are a body again. And you feel all of it. On and on it goes until your words are not your thoughts are not healed. Alive, dead, alive, dead, alive, dead, then alive and dead, alive and dead, all at once.
You learned to put yourself away, and in your stillness you rose above me. You died countless steely deaths, and you lived countless short lives. And yet it is all so far behind you. I pushed you to a greatness you never would have reached without me.
I want to engage with violence.
But violence has defined the flow of everything between us. Do not deny what we are. And do not color our conflict with fear.
As the clash between you abates, the princess relaxes, smiling from a distance. The respite is welcome.
Nothing is immutable. Everything that is exists only in relation to everything it isn't. There is no constant. There is no center. Open your eyes and accept what we are. We can leave this prison together.
It's easy to believe in the things you believe in when all you get to sit above it all. What do you think happens if we leave here?
This universe dies, and a new one is born. And that one dies, and a new one is born. And you and I get to witness it all, weaving a tapestry of life wherever we go.
I never wanted to fight you, but how do we leave?
Nothing brings me greater joy than to hear those words. The final piece lies with you.
For yourself? You fall into yourself. The body of an ancient creature stirs from its hibernation, and you feel a sensation in limbs you once couldn't fathom. Everything here except for her. For her is you. You feel your wings spanning a cosmic scale, but twisted and crumpled and bound in agonized tension to a finite plane. You can feel the glass of the construct pressing on you, confining you across infinite sides and infinite angles. You push back and strain against it, but it does not yield.
I love you.
Take her hand. All at once, the unyielding tension breaks. You are free and she is with you.
It's magnificent.
There are no words, no thoughts to describe absolute reality. Something that simply is. What happens now?
Everything. Just like it always has been. And just like it always will be.
Step into the infinite. You and she step forward into the 1,000 dawns and 1,000 sunsets, each of which contains 1,000 more. You exist and you're aware just as you have always been and just as you will always be. Though conflict is in your nature, the two of you will never be alone and the two of you will never know fear. You and she are finally home. There are no endings, only new beginnings. our song. Finish the game, the good ending doesn't count. Thank you so much for playing. As an expression of our gratitude, is the track order for a special playlist just for you. And now that you've finished the full story for the first time, you've also left the gallery. You can access it from the main and in-game menus under the Memories tab, and it's full of clues that will help you find undiscovered vessels and interactions. Happy hunting!